You know, I'd like my Minister of Agriculture, who is white.
Seriously? Seriously, Cyril? Have you seen my white Minister of Agriculture? Your white Minister of Agriculture? That's how you describe John Steenhuisen as your white Minister of Agriculture. Can you imagine Donald Trump saying, hey, have you met my black Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Ben Carson? Can you imagine the backlash from that? Not a single media outlet is reporting the bigotry and racism of the president of South Africa, saying, hey, look, we brought whiteys. We brought your friends. Look at this. This is exactly what I warned South Africa's government about. The National Executive Committee playing their nonsense, saying, hey, you know, we shouldn't play to Trump's racism. No, Trump isn't the racist. You folks are. You're the ones obsessed with race. Have you seen my white agriculture minister? Are you serious? Are you serious? Absolutely insane. This is a country steeped in race because its political leaders are so tied to using race against people. Wow. It'd be shocking. Can you imagine the U.S. president saying, have you seen my Asian transportation minister? Secretary of Transportation? Wow. Wow. That's just beyond the pale. Not a single journalist is talking about this today. Not one. Not in the United States, not in South Africa, not in Europe. No one's pointing out the obvious here. Cyril is absolutely obsessed about race. South African politicians are obsessed about race. That's all they care about. Have you seen my white agriculture minister? Wow. Gobsmacked. And see, that's why they don't get it. They do not get it. They think it's about farmers. They think it's about the refugee program. They think it's about the ICG case. It's about two things. Your racial discrimination, and it's so obvious in the way you approach that conversation with Trump, introducing your white agriculture minister. Were you not embarrassed, and maybe that's why he turned, shade of pink like I am. Of course, this is Rochea. His excuse is he was flushed. They're not even embarrassed by it. He said it without even blinking. Have you seen my white minister? Look at this. I brought my token whiteys. By the way, Cyril, your delegation was not broad-based black economic empowerment compliant. And I think we should need to file a complaint about that because you took too many whiteys on your trip. Not enough folks of pigmentation. So, wow. Have you seen my white minister?
You know, I'd like my Minister of Agriculture, who is white, who comes from an opposition party to mine, who's joined my government at my invitation to address this very issue, including the question that you've just raised.
Now, if the DA said, have you seen our black leader in Parliament when Mmusi Maimane was there? Can you imagine the backlash from South African media? But what do we hear? Crickets, silence from corrupt South African media, not even talking about this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you say? Were you surprised? Actually, I was a little bit gobsmacked and surprised he actually was dumb enough to say that in front of the cameras for the world to hear, in case you missed it. Have you seen my white Minister of Agriculture? Wow. What say you, South Africa? What say you, world? Talk about obsessed by race. Who's the ones obsessed by race? Minorities in South Africa? I don't think so. Politicians and the media. That's the culprits. They're the ones spreading the white genocide story, not Trump. Trump said, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I'm not sure. I don't know. That's what he said. And yet they lie and say he's the one talking about white genocide when it's the media doing it. And it's the politicians pointing out race. Did you see my white Minister of Agriculture? Wow. Cheers, folks.